Cockpit preparation. Panel scan sequence. CM1 area of responsibility. CM2 area of responsibility. Pilot flying area of responsibility. It is a general rule to turn off all white lights for all the systems during the scan sequence. Overhead panel left. Overhead panel center. Overhead panel right. Maintenance panel. Forward center panel. Left pedestal. Center pedestal. Right pedestal. Side panel and forward panel. Glare shield. EFIS control panel. FCU. Crew oxygen on. Recorder ground control on. Cockpit voice recorder test, press. An audio test signal and a beep every 4 seconds should be heard through the loudspeakers. EVAC switch set to captain or captain and purser depending on airline SOPs. Align IRS, select IR modes to nav. The aircraft must be stationary. Any aircraft movement will automatically restart the IRS alignment. A complete IRS alignment must be performed before the first flight of the day, when there is a crew change, when the GPS is not available and nav aids coverage is poor, when the GPS is not available and the expected flight time is greater than 3 hours. For a complete alignment, the IR mode selectors must be off for more than 5 seconds. Then the flight crew sets the IR selector to nav. Strobe switch auto. Nav and logo 1. Remaining exterior lights off. Seatbelts on. No smoking, PED to auto. Emergency exit light selector, arm. Landing elevation knob, auto. Pack flow selector. Low if the number of passengers is below 141. Norm for all normal operating cases. High for abnormally hot and humid conditions. ECAM Electrics SD page, call. Battery 1 and battery 2 off, then on. 10 seconds after selecting on, check that both batteries' currents drop below 60 amps and continue to decrease. If not, wait until the charging cycle of the batteries is completed before performing this check again. All pumps on. If the fuel mode selector is in the manual position on ground, when the center tank pump 1 and 2 are in the on position, there is a possibility of fuel spillage if there are any hidden failures. Apply the following procedure if affected by fuel center tank pump's low pressure cautions on the ground or in flight when the center tank is empty. Fuel mode selector, manual. Center tank pump 1 and 2 off. All engine fire push-button switches check in and guarded. Agent 1 and Agent 2 lights out. Engine 1 test. Check. Engine fire push-button light red. Squib light and discharge light on. Engine 1 fire warning on ECAM plus continuous repetitive chime plus master warning light. Fire light on engine panel on. Engine 2 test. Audio switching rotary selector norm. Third occupant audio control panel, PA reception knob, select reception. This allows cabin attendant announcements to be recorded on the CVR. Maintenance panel. Check all lights are off. Center instrument panel. Standby instruments adjust. Clock. Check time and adjust if necessary. Elapsed time at 0, chrono at 0. Anti-skid and nose wheel steering switch on. Pedestal. Audio control panel. Interphone reception knob out and adjust. Cockpit door check in accordance with your airline security procedure. Switching panel, all selectors check at norm. Thrust levers idle. Engine master off. Engine mode selector norm. Check accumulator pressure is in the green band. If required, use the yellow hydraulic electric pump to recharge the brake accumulator. Warning: yellow and green hydraulic systems are pressurized from yellow electric pump. Obtain ground crew clearance before using the electric pump. Park brake on. Brake pressure indicators check. Landing gear gravity extend check stowed. TCAS is on standby and set to above. Altitude reporting on. RMP on, green nav light off. Selector light off. Frequencies tune. VHF-1 is normally used for air traffic control. VHF-2 is normally used for ATIS and company frequencies or tuned to 121.5. VHF-3 is normally devoted to ACARS. FMGS preparation. At electrical power-up, the FMGSs and FCU run through internal tests. Allow enough time for the test's completion. Do not press any push buttons until the tests are over. If the "Please wait" message appears, do not press any MCDU key until the message clears. Glare shield. Flight directors on. Set constraint. Baro ref set. Check the baro ref and altitude indications on the PFDs and the standby altimeter. The maximum difference is plus or minus 20 feet between both PFDs, plus or minus 60 feet between ISIS and PFD, or plus or minus 300 feet between mechanical standby altimeter and PFD. Set arc. Set range to show first 2 waypoint. If the initial 2 waypoint is more than 70 degrees from runway track, select ROSE nav. VOR ADF select if required. Speed Mach window dashed. Heading vertical speed, track flight path angle push button to heading vertical speed. Alt window set to initial expected clearance altitude. Oxygen mask test. Warning: to prevent hearing damage to ground mechanics connected to the intercom system, inform them that a loud noise may be heard in the headset when performing this test. Crew supply push button check on. Loudspeaker on. Interphone radio switch to interphone. On mask stowage, press the reset test button in the direction of the arrow. Check that the blinker turns yellow for a short time and then goes black. Hold the reset test push button down and press the emergency pressure selector. Check that the blinker turns yellow and remains yellow as long as the emergency pressure selector is pressed. Listen for oxygen flow through the loudspeakers. Check that the reset test push button returns to the up position and the N100% selector is in the 100% position. Press the emergency pressure selector again and check that the blinker does not turn yellow. This ensures that the mask is not supplied. On the ECAM door oxygen page, regulator low pressure message check off. The crew must perform this check after having checked all masks. It ensures that the LP valve is open. Instrument panels. PFD and ND brightness knob set. Loudspeaker set. PFD check. When attitude and heading are available, check for correct display IAS, FMA, target altitude, altimeter readings, VSI, altimeter setting, heading, and attitude display. ND check for correct display heading, initial waypoint, and any VOR ADF indications if required. ECAM control panel. Check that the cabin pressurization page displays landing elevation auto to confirm the correct position of the landing elevation knob. Status push button, press. Check that any inoperative system displayed is compatible with the MEL. If a maintenance message is displayed, then maintenance action may be due. ADIRS. IRS align check. Check that the IRSs are in nav mode and the distance between each IRS and FMS position is lower than 5 nautical miles. Confirm on the ND that the aircraft position is consistent with the position of the airport, the SID, and any nav aids.